YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are back with our first 50-mile full review, and that is going to be of the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21. So the fact that this thing made it 50 miles with me already should tell you something about it, and I've really been enjoying it. It's a solid shoe for daily training, especially with what I'm doing right now, which is just kind of running easy and occasionally picking it up to like a steezy pace. So needless to say, I have changed some of my opinions since my first impression review. So let's get right into it with a quick review, starting with the stack height. So the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21 is coming in at 32 millimeters in the heel, 20 millimeters in the forefoot, for a total heel to toe drop or slope of 12 millimeters. Pretty standard for the Brooks Adrenaline and the Brooks Ghost. I didn't really notice it in this. It felt like a 10 millimeter drop shoe, but to be honest, I guess the difference might be kind of minute to a point. So just know if you prefer lower drop shoes like a 6 or a 4 millimeter drop or even a 0, this may feel pretty foreign and uncomfortable for your gait cycle. Moving on to the weight of the shoe, we are looking at 10 ounces in a men's size 9 and an 8.5 ounces in a woman's size 8. And the best part about these full reviews is now I score some of the most important sections. So you're gonna see a score pop up as I'm talking about some of these specific items. So keep an eye out on that. And we'll be averaging all of those scores to give you an overall score at the very end. So stick around. Moving on to the fit, nothing really changed there as far as the fit for me. Still very reliable, comfortable fit across the ankle, the heel, and over the midfoot. As I broke in, I felt like I was swimming in the forefoot a little bit. So maybe try the shoe on and consider going a half size down if you're concerned about it. For me, it's been a non-issue, so I'm not too upset about it, but something to note if you like your shoes a little tighter. And that all moves very well onto the upper. So once again, the upper is going to be a basic engineered mesh upper with a nice 3D print to enhance the fit. Something I loved about this was the heel counter. It felt really nice. You know, I'm someone in my daily trainers kind of likes a shoe to get in my way just a little bit and make sure I'm not swimming around too much in there. And this really did the job. So proud of Brooks for putting up something so solid, and I can see why anybody who needs a lot of support would enjoy that as well. Moving on to the midsole. So I'm gonna say I thought that the midsole would grow on me as I broke into the shoe, but turns out it wasn't quite that simple. So I kind of separated it into two sections, being the rear foot and kind of like the midfoot, forefoot. The rear foot and heel area felt awesome. They're doing a little bit of a dual density midsole foams here to aid in some pronation control and support. So that felt really nice, but you know, if you're hitting lower on the back of your heel, it feels very cushioned and it kind of babies your foot and it feels really nice. But that wasn't really the case with the forefoot. The forefoot felt slappy and kind of hard pretty much the whole way through. And there were times where I like picked up the pace in this shoe and that felt pretty good. And as you can see, for a support shoe, this thing really does have a lot of flex in the forefoot, and that aids in a nice little snappy toe off, which I enjoyed when I was moving fast. But if I'm using this shoe, I'm usually using this shoe to run easy and chill. And I like something a little cushier in the forefoot for that. So a little bit of a letdown there. Could have been better. Moving on to the outsole, we're keeping it very simplistic yet again with a blown rubber outsole. I think if you look at the shoe right now on camera, you see little to no wear and tear, even after just over 50 miles of running on roads and maybe like a couple miles of dirt. This thing is gonna be super durable as far as the outsole is concerned. The outsole feels like it very minimally adds to the weight, and I'm gonna give them a big shout out for that because this thing is kind of thick, very durable, and the traction is really nice, but I don't feel like it really adds to the weight of the shoe. Moving on to my positives and drawbacks of the shoe. Positives switched to the upper. I thought the upper was probably my favorite part of the Adrenaline. It was super nice lockdown across the midfoot and the ankle. And when you slip your foot in, it just feels sock-like, and the gusseted tongue really feels nice, and it holds your foot in well, and the tongue doesn't slide back and forth on the top of your foot. It's really just nice, reliable once you lace it up smoothly. And Brooks does a really nice job with the lacing system, by the way. But overall, combining the engineered mesh with a nice locked down in a kind of an enhanced fit with that gusseted tongue and a smooth lacing system, man, I was really into the upper. So that is my biggest positive for this shoe. Drawback? Didn't change. I think I pretty much just felt that hard forefoot the whole way through. It was kind of annoying. Not a deal breaker on the shoe, but to me, it was something that I always noticed. I didn't quite love it, so it is detracting from my enjoyment of this one. Moving on to my durability prediction, that actually doesn't change. We're still looking at 500 to 600 quality miles in this shoe. I think any more than that, you're probably gonna see diminishing returns, but the thing that's great about this one is that if you wanted to run farther, you probably could, and you're also gonna be seeing very positive benefits when you walk in this shoe afterwards. I think although the running comfort may go, I think the upper comfort is gonna linger, and then you're also gonna still see a very solid kind of walking, standing shoe support and cushion that people really enjoy. So I think you're gonna get a lot of value out of that even after you've reached kind of the upper running miles limit on this thing. So moving on to amending what I think the shoe is best for, anything from like daily training or like, you know, mileage days to like anything down to marathon pace for long runs or for just kind of steezy or steady running workouts. To be honest, I don't love this thing for like true recovery days because it just feels a little hard. I'd rather go with something like my Nike React Miler or even like the React Infinity Run or the Saucony Endorphin Shift. Those are just kind of shoes, to name a few, that I'd probably go back to before this one for a super easy day, just because I like what they're offering in that category of just like babying your feet really well. But for anything else, I think this is gonna be a good shoe between kind of mileage to steezy marathon pace running for me. But I'm gonna say if you are someone who likes a shoe that can kind of do it all but leans towards a supportive trainer side, the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21 is probably the shoe for you. This thing is going to be a great blend of responsiveness, support, and cushioning that can get you through a multitude of run types. So look this shoe up, give it a try, put it on your feet at a specialty running store to see how you like it. Finally, moving on to that price point at $130, I'm gonna say that is still a really good option. You're gonna see a lot of good returns from this shoe in value. I think I've already mentioned that. It's not gonna be the shoe that I stick with forever because there's some like cooler, flashier shoes out there that maybe I'm more interested in, but it's a shoe that I know I can always come back to if I just need some reliable support, some generally nice cushioning, and that super soft upper. I've actually been walking around in this shoe a lot just because I think it's super cozy and it hugs my feet well and it kind of cradles my arch just enough. So big ups to the Brooks Adrenaline GTS on that. Moving on to my final score of 7.5 out of 10. I think that's a very fair score for something like this, who brings just everything you need to the table, but nothing extra. You know, there's no extra frills or gimmicks. You're just kind of getting a good, solid trainer that fits well and can get you through a multitude of run types. So in conclusion, I think Brooks did a really great job with this iteration of the Adrenaline. And as much as I'm kind of moving away from this shoe to opt for other trainers at this point, you know what? I can't wait to get more miles in the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21. That about does it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please feel free to like, subscribe, and smash that bell button so you never miss a video. With that, until next time, y'all know the drill. Stay healthy, stay chill. Cheers, friends.